The integrated bracelet stainless steel sports watch has really blown up over the past few years. It all started with, of course, the Royal Oak. However, it was the Tissot PRX that has brought the integrated bracelet sports watch to the masses. Nowadays, every single brand, whether it is a major brand, a micro brand, it really doesn't matter, has some form of an integrated bracelet sports watch that's in stainless steel. Today, we're going to talk about my top 10 affordable and top 10 not so affordable integrated bracelet sports watches. So I'm going to start with the affordable. This is going to be a list of watches that are stainless steel and under $3,000. That $3,000 could be brand new or on the secondary market. So let's get right into it with my number one pick. And these picks are really in no order, so this isn't really my number one pick. However, this is probably the most important pick out of the lot of the affordable bunch. That is, of course, the Tissot PRX. You get the quartz version or the Powermatic 80 version, both of them equally important, but my favorite out of the lot, of course, is the Powermatic 80, the automatic version. 80 hours of power reserve, a textured dial, which is a waffle pattern, and you get a beautiful bracelet. And usually you can get these for around $400 or $500, depending on the color and, of course, the size. They make 35 millimeter and they also make a 40 millimeter. These are just great everyday sports watches with an integrated bracelet in stainless steel that are automatic with a great power reserve. Next on the list is the Citizen Saioso, one of my favorites on this list. These are extremely affordable. Brand new, you can get these for around $500, depending on the version. They make a small seconds version with a beautiful textured dial. That's the one I would go for, but they also make a yellow dial version, one that I actually own, and a bunch of different colors that really pop. They sort of look like a Rolex OP a little bit, and that's really not a bad thing. These look a lot more expensive than they actually are, and that's why they are on this list. Next is a watch that I have featured here on my channel a few times. It is the Casio Edifice. The Casio Edifice is an affordable integrated bracelet watch that you can sometimes get at around $100 on places like Amazon and eBay. These are good-looking watches with textured dials that have an integrated bracelet, and the bracelet is actually pretty good, especially considering the price that you pay for these. Next is a newcomer to the list of integrated bracelet sports watches. It is the Christopher Ward 12. When I heard that Christopher Ward was coming out with an integrated bracelet sport watch, I knew they would do the right thing, and they absolutely did. Obviously, taking inspiration from Gerald Genta, these are in stainless steel or titanium. They are really well made, beautiful bracelets, automatic movements, and Swiss made. You can get COSC certified versions, textured dials, beautiful watches for really good prices. Next is a watch that you could get on the secondary market around that $3,000 price point. I may be pushing it a little bit with this watch, but you can get examples around that $3,000 price point. It is the Tudor North Flag, a watch that I have always loved. A little bit of a yellow accent on the dial and the power reserve. It's a reissue of the Tudor Ranger, which was a very good looking watch. This is a great looking Tudor, one of the best looking Tudors I think ever made. And it's also a very original watch, which I like to see Tudor do. Next on the list, and we are up to number 6, I'm talking about a watch that basically no one ever talks about. There's not many videos out there on them. It is the Wempe Iron Walker. These are actually really nice watches that are made very, very well. Obviously, Swiss made watches featuring ETA movements, good looking, very well made watches from Wempe, a German brand who are a watch retailer. And they decided to make their own integrated bracelet sports watch, and they did a very good job. Number 7 on this list is a thin watch that has a weird integration at the case. It is the F77 from Nevada Grenchen. However, with that being said, these are very good looking watches that are very vintage inspired. You get a beautiful bubbled sapphire crystal on these. The integration of the bracelet is weird, but that bracelet is awesome. And these are very thin as well. Really good watches that are very affordable and I think very good looking. Number 8 on this list is a watch that has not been released yet. However, I am very excited about it because it is from Ball. Ball are making a new preserver. These are integrated bracelet watches with a 40mm case or a 43mm case, in-house COSC certified movement. So this gets their in-house movement that is COSC certified with a display case back, and these are made out of 904L stainless steel. You're getting textured dials and all of that good stuff. The 80 hours of power reserve that you get from the movement actually says it on the dial, so they're definitely competing with brands like Tissot, but they're taking it up a little bit of a level from those Tissots in quality and of course in-house movement. So these are around $2,000 and they are very good looking. Number 9 on this list is the Citizen Series 8. I've actually recently featured their time-only dive version of the Series 8 here on my channel, the 890. They also make a GMT. All of these get integrated bracelets and of course textured dials. This is sort of a premium line from Citizen. You're getting upgraded movements, upgraded cases, materials, and things like that. Very good looking integrated bracelet watches for decent prices here, especially considering what you're getting from Citizen. Last but not least, this is a watch that I have never actually made a video on. I've seen a few in person. These are fantastic watches. And if you really do like the Tissot PRX, but you want something a little bit more upmarket, a little bit more premium, check out the Saturna DS7. You're still getting a Powermatic 80, which of course gives you 80 hours of power reserve. You could see that movement from the back. However, in the DS7, you are getting a much nicer bracelet than what you get from the Tissot, and the Tissot already gives you a very good bracelet. It tapers a little bit more. These fit a little bit nicer on the wrist. They're not as flashy as a PRX, I would say. However, I think these have a great design and definitely worth a look if you want something that is under $800 and you want something that's really well made. So that wraps it up for our affordable list here. I gave you 10 watches on that list. There are definitely other watches that I could have mentioned, like Mito and a few others. However, we're going to move on to the not so affordable list here. And this is a list that I have over 10 watches on. These are all watches that cost over $3,000, even on the secondary market. And these are all iconic. In my opinion, every single watch on this list is an icon. So I'm going to get right into it with number 1. It is the IWC Ingenieur. This is a brand and a watch that I love. I own a few different IWC. I currently own an IWC Ingenieur perpetual calendar, and I love it. I think the IWC Ingenieur is very underrated. A Gerald Genta design, really beautiful cases, really beautiful bracelets, especially the titanium versions. A lot of them are expensive. However, on the secondary market, they do go for very good prices. Definitely check them out there before you go get them at retail. Very premium watches, and you can get them for a pretty good price on the secondary market. Next on this list is the Bulgari Octo, a really weird, kind of funky watch that is very large on the wrist. It looks very large on your wrist. However, these watches wear really comfortably. I've actually owned an Octo. I had an all stainless steel version on a stainless steel bracelet. It looked like it would not be comfortable, but they actually are. This is another Gerald Genta design, kind of forgotten. These are really not affordable watches. However, on the secondary market, they do sell for a very good price. So again, I would go to the secondary market if you are interested in getting a Bulgari Octo. Next on this list is the Vacheron Overseas, one of my favorite watches ever made. I own a World Time. It is one of my favorite watches in my collection. Designed by Jörg Heisek, this is one of the most important integrated bracelet watches out there that wasn't designed by Gerald Genta. Jörg Heisek actually designed a very iconic watch in the 222, which inspired the Vacheron Overseas. The 222 has been a whirlwind from Vacheron these days and are going for a lot of money on the secondary market. And hopefully those do eventually come down. I think that's a really cool watch, and I would love to own a 222 one day. Number 5 on this list, and the granddaddy of all integrated bracelet sports watches in stainless steel, is the AP Royal Oak. It's the granddaddy because it was really truly the first luxury watch made out of stainless steel, it came out, and before that, all other watches that were considered luxury were made out of precious metal. When the AP Royal Oak came onto the market and it was selling for the same price as the precious metal watches, it kind of took the market by storm, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. It's a great design. Again, a design by Gerald Genta, a name that comes up very often when you're talking about integrated bracelet sports watches. And of course, this is an icon for a reason, and it has inspired basically every watch on this list. Next watch on this list is the Omega Constellation. Now, there is a tie to Gerald Genta for the Omega Constellation. However, it's not the recent version, not the integrated bracelet version of the Omega Constellation. It's an earlier version. The version that I'm talking about is the modern Omega Constellation, which is an integrated bracelet watch that is thoroughly modern. This is a watch that is often overlooked on lists like this, and that's the reason why I want to bring it up here. Number 7 on this list is the Zenith Defy. This is another watch that's been around for a very long time. I'm talking about the Skyline in this video, but really it could be any Zenith Defy throughout the years. The Zenith Defy in general, a really good looking, very clean looking integrated bracelet watch. The Skyline versions get star motifs on their dial, basically engraved into the dial. That's the texture that they're putting. It's the Zenith Star, and obviously tying back to the brand's history. Really well-made watches, and of course you're getting El Primero movements, which you can't go wrong with. So the Zenith Defy definitely deserves to be on this list and is an icon. Number 8 on this list is another watch that I own. It is the Cartier Santos. I own the ADLC version with the black bezel. It really doesn't matter what version of the Cartier Santos that you own. This is an integrated bracelet watch, kind of, that was essentially the first sports watch. It was the first pilot's watch ever made. These were a tool watch back in the day, and today, really an integrated bracelet sports watch, dress watch. However, you can wear these as an everyday watch, and I do. I think these are excellent watches, and again, from Cartier, might be overpriced, but on the secondary market, they do go for a better price. So definitely go to the secondary market if you're interested in a Cartier Santos. Number 9 on this list is the Girard-Perregaux Lariato. This is a watch that basically needs no introduction. It is the underdog to the Holy Trinity. Lots of people always bring up this watch as a great alternative to one of those watches from the Holy Trinity, and with good reason. You're getting a beautiful in-house movement in these watches. There's tons of different versions out there. They've been making it since the 70s, and you can get them for a crazy good price on places like eBay and Chrono24. So that's the reason why a lot of people consider them a great alternative to the Holy Trinity. Another Gerald Genta design, and the last watch on this list, it is the Patek Philippe Nautilus. Definitely does not deserve to be last on this list, but this is in no specific order. It's another watch that was designed by Gerald Genta. It's a historic, iconic watch, part of the Holy Trinity, and one of the most iconic sports watches ever made, and that's the reason why they usually go for well above their list price, because they are so in demand, and with good reason. They are truly an icon. Okay, well, there you go. 10 affordable watches, 10 not so affordable watches. One honorable mention in the Chopard Alpine Eagle. I do want to mention those watches. They have some great dials. The Eagle Eye dial that they put on those watches are some of the best dials out of this entire list. So I do want to mention the Chopard Alpine Eagle as an honorable mention. But besides that, there are tons of brands coming out with new integrated bracelet sports watches every single day. So this list does change very regularly, and obviously with good reason. These are very popular watches with a lot of people because they are everyday watches. You can wear them to the office, you can go swimming with them, you can play sports in them. It really doesn't matter. They're everywhere. Go anywhere, do anything watches. And that's the reason why they're so popular. And there's tons of watches to choose from. This is just 20 or 21 really watches that I've mentioned here, but there are a ton of other ones out there. Tell me which ones you think I left off of this list of 21 watches. Which ones do you think I should have included? Which ones do you think I should not have included? put a comment down below. I really do appreciate it. And thank you for logging on. Thank you for taking a look at this video. I really do appreciate it. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. It's super helpful for the channel, and I very much appreciate it. Thanks for logging on. I'll catch you guys in the next video.